He was 2 pounds, 14 ounces, 19 inches long. He was in the NICU for 7 weeks and 4 days. He was very small, and I always tell the story, he looked like, everybody says, well, you know, what does he look like and who does he look like? So my words were, he looked like what they call a skint squirrel. All you could see was skin and ribs.
But they didn't think I was going to make it. You know, I was in the hospital for a period of 7 months, I believe, and pretty much on almost life support, I guess you'd say. And when, you know, Mama brought me home and everything, she didn't know I was handicapped until about 3 or 4 months later.
As he went to the doctors for his regular checkups, the doctors always say, you know, children with premature births are always 2 years behind. They're not going to meet their milestones as full-term babies. So, you know, I would still have that in the back of my mind. You know, he's not crawling yet, not quite sitting upright. So being a young mom, first child, you know, I maybe was missing some of those things of, you know, but I kept saying, the doctor says, you know, he's not gonna meet those milestones because he is premature. So it's just one night I was sitting on the sofa, and back then they had the little round walkers, and he handed him a rattler to shake. And I handed it to him in his left hand, and he reached over with his right hand and took it out and was playing with it. And it's like almost like a light bulb went off. I could tell in his fingers that, you know, they're not moving quite as smoothly. They're a little bit tight. So I took him to his pediatrician and I pointed these things out. And which I was a little disappointed because the doctor should have known that when he examined him that, you know, some of the things didn't feel right. But he was diagnosed by a neurologist, and that was the actual day that, you know, we knew then he had cerebral palsy.
It just affects this left hand and my legs. I mean, I can walk on crutches. I use this chair for bathroom, you know, because this chair stands straight up and goes straight back down. But other than that, you know, that's all it affects. You know, I still have my speech, I still have my mind. That's pretty much all it affects. But when I graduated, just sitting at home, not doing a thing, really got to me. I mean, I went through, I guess, a state of depression, I guess you'd say. I just wanted to get out there and do something. So yeah, it got pretty bad when I graduated, when I didn't have a job.
And it was almost 1.5 years before Jay went to work. Just Jay not having a job or something to get up for. He no longer had to get up to go to school. And Jay was, at one point in time, slipping into a depression of, I want to go out, I want to work, I want to make a check, I want to, you know, I want to do things for myself. And he didn't want to live on an SSI check. He wanted to do things for himself.
My mama got a phone call from Mr. Darrell. Says that there's a job here, and it's kind of a hard job and a strenuous job, but it was suspending licenses.
My understanding was at the time that he graduated from high school and he very much wanted to work. It was very important to him. He wanted to be productive to the best of his abilities in the society. I was impressed with his attitude, and I was impressed with how spunky he is. I don't know what I expected, but nothing like Jay turned out to be. I tell everybody he's 100 pounds of personality.
Jay's job duties are he does data entry for the police department. He enters in the tickets that the officers write on a monthly basis into the computer system, all the information from the ticket number to the names, date of birth, the violation, and the cost of the fine, which goes in to the system and is able for the clerk to do her computer, through the computer to do a docket for the court on a monthly basis. Also, he enters in the warrants for the violators. Once they don't appear in court, we type a warrant on them and Jay puts them into the computer, and also shows up for the clerk to be able to create a file for them.
He's just a great employee. Forget the disability. I mean, and Jay comes in here, performs the job that he's assigned. Kind of work where we're like most people. Nothing was urgent about it, so we just didn't do it. We got way behind. So Jay has kept us up, and we're looking now to expand his duties, which will have him interact more with the public than he currently does.
Jay does not miss work. Jay is very excited about his job, and he takes his job very seriously. And it's people like Mr. Darrell, Mr. Randy, who said, I'm going to take a chance, and I'm going to give Jay the opportunity to do this. And if it wouldn't have been for them, I don't know where Jay was headed, because he was just feeling unworthy. His friends were going to work every day, and he felt like, I should be at work. I should be contributing. And Mr. Darrell made that happen.
You can basically do what you want to do, what you have the intestinal fortitude to do. And to my knowledge, Jay's never felt sorry for himself a day. He does not give me a lot of, why me, Lord? He just wants to contribute, and he's here in an environment where he is contributing, and he's with a group of people who've come to love him, and he loves them, I believe. But it's really been a wonderful experience all around. I don't know how many people have remarked to me, the best thing you ever done since you were mayor, hired Jay. I thought, well, if I knew it was that easy, I'd have hired Jay when I first got to be mayor.
And I can't begin to show the gratitude of Mr. Darrell and Mr. Randy for giving me a chance. I'll always owe them a great debt for that, because there was times where I didn't know if I'd ever work, and I don't believe in drawing a Social Security check if you can work. I mean, if I was handicapped to the max to where I couldn't work, that's one thing, but if I can give back to the community, then I'm going to do my best to give back to the community.